3D Ballerina Acrylic Nailer Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi everyone! In today's video I'm going to be making a 3D point shoe design in Ballerina, and isn't really too much 3D stuff in here. So if you're new to 3D but you want to do something kind of out there and outrageous, this would be easy. The actual only 3D acrylic is on the tip of the point shoe, on the box, and then up the sides. And then everything else is just done with ribbon and some tulle. So there's no other 3D at all in this. So like I said, if you're new to 3D, this would definitely be something easy to try that also has kind of an out there feel to it. And as a former dancer, this design was so much fun for me to create, so I really had a blast making it. I hope you like it, and don't forget to click subscribe to see my future videos as well. These are the gel polishes that I'm going to be reviewing. They're from Perfect Summer off Amazon, and so there's the base and the top coat, and they come in amazing packaging. It's the best packaging I've ever seen for polish being sent in the mail. It's so safe in there. I don't think a car could break them. And then I got a set of 6 colors, and so they all come in this amazing packaging. It's styrofoam, it's incredible. And I'm also going to be showing you this new light that I just got from Lightake. It's extremely inexpensive, and it'd be a really good light if you are new to gel polish and you want to try it out and don't want to spend a whole bunch of money. It's an LED light, and it's a little cute heart shape. It only has an on-off switch, so there's no timer, so you have to either set a timer on your phone or watch a clock or a stopwatch, just so you know how long your hand's been in there. So the first thing I'm going to do for the colors is apply a layer of the gel base coat from Perfect Summer, and I'm going to cure that in the LED light for 30 seconds. And then number 53 is a very light gray. And as far as the gel polish is concerned, I was very happy with it. The number 53, the light gray, and I can't think of the number, but the light peach are both extremely pigmented colors. Number 54 is the light peach. With those two, though, you want to make sure that you apply extremely thin coats or they are going to ripple, which is something that you have to watch out for, especially with colors that are, like I said, with a very high pigmentation. So those two especially, just make sure you apply the thinnest coat possible. Otherwise, you might end up with a little bit of an issue. Other than that, I am very happy with these. They're all cover really nicely. They lasted a good amount of time for gel polish. I'm a terrible judge of that because gel polish doesn't stick to me very well, but it lasted as good as anything else. The wine color, number 57, is the least pigmented, but I find that quite a bit with those dark red colors that they do need a couple coats. And then, so these are the colors. Number 58 and number 56 are extremely similar, almost exactly the same. Number 58 is just a little bit more of like a gray color. And then I'm going to apply the top coat and cure it again. All of these layers I cured for at least 30 seconds in the light. And yeah, the one thing that I would have to say is that the colors, sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, but they do have a tacky layer. So for chrome, you have to make sure that you at least remove a portion of it before you try to apply it, or you're not going to have good success with that. And so, yeah. So I'm going to, on all of my nail tips for the design, I'm going to apply an overlay with a Cover Pink color. And the reason I'm using Cover Pink is for the index nail. It is used and you do see it, otherwise I am painting over it entirely. But Cover Pink creates a really nice background when you're painting with light colors of gel polish. It just looks really nice underneath it, and it makes them just apply really smoothly and streak free. And then I filed all the nails with a 180 grit file, and then buffed them with a 240 grit padded buffer to remove any scratches that the first file may have left behind. For the index nail, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be gluing on some of two pieces of light pink ribbon, and I'm going to glue them on at an angle, and I'm just using nail glue to do this. And so then when you fold them over, they should cross just above where they're glued, and then trim off the little ends on the sides with a little nail scissors. So I'm just cutting those off, and then I'm going to sculpt up the point shoe box and up the sides of the shoe with more of the Cover Pink. And so this is, like I mentioned, the only 3D aspect of this design is this part here. And so I'm just going to bring that up and over the ends of the ribbon. It's not wire. So just bring that up and over the ends of the ribbon and make sure that because that's going to be the sides of the shoe. And I'm doing that on both sides. And use relatively stiff acrylic here, so take the excess liquid out of the back of the brush. That way it's not going to run all over and you're going to have a much easier time managing keeping it smooth over the ribbon. It's not that difficult, but you know, making it easier is always better. And then I'm going to be filing it so that the shoe has a nice shape. It didn't take too much, and then I'm going to be painting over the shoe with a light color, which is the Ballet Pink shade, which was number 54, I believe, if I'm thinking correctly. It's just the light pink, and I did 2 coats of that, and then applied a layer of top coat and removed the tacky layer. And then I'm going to be just outlining between the shoe and the foot, so I'm going to outline just around that area, around that edge, and also up and over the ribbon. And I'm doing this with black acrylic paint. And then over the foot area, I'm going to be applying a regular matte top coat. And now I'm going to be applying the wine color to my ring and thumbnails. I'm going to do 2 coats, and then the top coat, or not a top coat, just 2 coats. And then this is going to be for the ring nail. I'm going to be painting my ballerina silhouette with the light pink. And so I'm doing all of this painting with gel paint. And so I'm going to start with her head and add her head and her bun, and then add her neck, her shoulders, and her torso. Do her hips next, and then carry it down to her legs. And then her arms. And do this with a very, very small brush, and try to float your paint along the nail instead of doing a regular painting with it. Just try to float the gel polish over. It's going to give you much smoother lines, and it's going to have a much better pigmentation. And then apply a layer of the top coat, cure it, and then cleanse it. And now I'm going to take a piece of tulle and I'm going to trim it off. So I've got about a 1/2 inch by 4 inch strip, and I'm going to need 2 of those. I'm going to layer those one on top of the other, and then with a needle and thread I'm going to gather that. So I'm just going to run the material back and forth across the needle, and then I'm going to pull the thread nice and tight. So as you can see, I'm going to pull that through, and then if you pull it, you're going to see that it's going to gather, and it's going to create that classic Russian tutu appearance. And then I'm just going to keep going until I have enough length to fit and be the right size for our dancer. Tie off the string once you have the right length, and then just file right where you're going to want to glue the tutu. Put some nail glue down and then hold it in place. Once that has set, you're going to take your manicure scissors and you're going to want to trim the tool just to make sure that it is not, it's probably going to be too big, and it's also not going to be quite perfect. So if you just trim it, it's going to have the exact shape you're going for. On the thumb, apply a layer of the gel top coat and then cleanse it with 50% isopropyl alcohol. And then that's going to give you a really good tacky surface. It's going to give you the right amount of the tacky surface to burnish the chrome powder into it. So I'm going to do that over that really pretty burgundy color. And this is for the thumb. And then I'm going to clean off the excess powder. And then I'm going to, once again, with the light ballet pink color of gel polish, I'm going to be painting 2 point shoes. So I'm going to paint one of them facing one direction, and then add just a little line for the other side of the shoe like that, and then do the same thing with an opposite. So it goes the other direction, and this is going to make it, I'm going to have them look like they're tied in a little bow and like they're hanging up after you are done dancing. And then add a bow near the cuticle, so just 2 simple loops, and then add one end of the bow on each side, go up, and then take one line down and connect it to the shoes. Add a little pearl in the center of your bow, and then apply another layer of the gel top coat, cure it, and cleanse it. On my middle and pinky, I'm going to be adding 2 coats of the ballet pink color, and then I put a top coat over it, and then I cleansed it with regular 90% isopropyl alcohol, and as you can see, it didn't go as nearly as well. So now this is after I did it once again with the 50% and tried it again. That you can see it's got a much better chrome effect. So you don't want to take off all the tacky layer, you want to take off quite a bit of it, just not quite all of it. So I applied some nail glue up near the cuticle, and I'm attaching just some more of those little pearls up and around. And then on my pinky, I'm going to paint a pretty simple design with that wine color. So I'm going to start with a bow again at the top of the nail near the cuticle. And then I'm going to add the strings coming down just like we did on the thumb. And then take and make just a crossing pattern like the ribbons do up the dancer's leg. And as you can see, this wine color has a much more pink appearance than it does when it's got the two coats on the other nails. If you wanted it to match and be closer to the other color, you can add a second coat over this design. I liked the color, so I left it as it is. I added a rhinestone or a pearl in the center of the bow, applied top coat, cured it, cleansed it, and you are all done. I hope you like this design. Please share any recreations with me on Facebook and Instagram. I'd really love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!